Hey everyone, I just set up this ViewSonic PX749-4K projector last weekend, and I have to say, it's night and day compared to the cheap 1080p projector I was using before. Those budget projectors always looked washed out and blurry, especially in a room with any light. The colors would bleed, the edges would get fuzzy, and forget about watching anything fast-paced like a sports game or a racing sim, it just couldn't keep up. But this thing, it's a totally different experience. If you've been holding off because you thought a decent 4K projector was out of reach, this one might surprise you. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the brightness is insane for the price. It's rated at 4000 lumens, and even in a room with some ambient light, the image stays sharp and vibrant. I've got it set up in my living room with the lights on low, and I can still see every detail in dark scenes without squinting. That's huge if you don't have a dedicated home theater space. The 4K resolution is real too, it's not some upscaled mess. Textures look crisp, and when you're gaming or watching a movie, you actually feel like you're there. I hooked it up to my Xbox Series X, and games like Forza Horizon 5 look stunning. The colors pop, the motion is smooth, and the 240Hz refresh rate means no screen tearing or stuttering, even in fast action scenes. Setup was way easier than I expected. The projector has a 1.3x optical zoom, so you can adjust the image size without losing quality. I mounted it on the ceiling, and the auto vertical keystone adjustment did most of the work for me. No more fiddling with manual dials to get the picture straight, just power it on, and it calibrates itself. It also has dual HDMI ports and a USB-C input, so I can plug in my Xbox, my laptop, and even a streaming stick without swapping cables all the time. The dual inputs are a small thing, but it makes a big difference in day-to-day use. One thing I really appreciate is the HDR support. I've watched a few movies with HDR turned on, and the contrast is way better than what I was used to. Dark scenes have more depth, and bright highlights don't wash out. It's not as good as a high-end OLED TV, but for a projector, it's a huge upgrade. Plus, the projector has built-in speakers, which are fine for casual watching, but if you want real sound, you'll probably want to pair it with a soundbar or a surround sound system. The built-in audio is just there to get you by until you upgrade. Another cool feature is the large screen projection. I've got it set to throw a 120-inch image, and it fills the wall without looking stretched or pixelated. The 4K resolution holds up really well at that size, which is something cheaper projectors struggle with. I've also used it for watching sports, and the motion clarity is great, no ghosting or blur when the camera pans quickly. It's also pretty quiet, which is a big deal if you're watching late at night and don't want a loud fan drowning out the dialogue. Now, it's not perfect. The throw distance is something to consider. At 120 inches, it needs to be about 10 feet away from the screen. If your room is smaller, you might have to go with a smaller image size or look into a short throw projector instead. Also, the bulb is a bit of a pain to replace when it eventually burns out, and they are not cheap. But honestly, for the quality you get, it's a trade-off I'm willing to make. The bulb life is rated at around 2000 hours in normal mode, which is decent, but if you're using it a lot, you might want to keep a spare on hand. All in all, I'm really happy with this projector. It's brought my living room setup to the next level without breaking the bank. If you've been on the fence about upgrading from a cheap projector, or even a big TV, this one's worth a look. The link is below if you want to check it out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.